Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Cafe.
Hello everyone, welcome once again to Wild Wing. We're here to talk Inside Mercer Basketball. Head Coach Bob Hoffman. Well, Coach, this time last week, looking ahead at the schedule, 3 games in 5 days. And going into that, man, you start to scratch your head. That's a lot of basketball, a lot to get done. But then when you win 3 games, it's pretty good after all.
Well, it was an amazing weekend for our guys. We had multiple players step up and make a difference. Played some really good teams, had 2 great wins at home, and then had to go on the road on Monday night to beat Samford, who plays a style that's difficult to play even if you had multiple days of rest. But coming off back-to-back games, I was really impressed how our guys stuck to the game plan and worked really hard to get the victory.
Coach, before we break down a little bit about each game, I thought we would talk about Justin Lewis. Boy, his senior year has really stepped up his game, 20-plus points in each of those games, and those figures are easy to see. But for those of us that have watched him every minute, his defensive effort, steals, deflections have really stepped up.
Well, he has a great ability and a knack to read guys' eyes and jump the passing lanes and be able to get where people don't think he can get. And when we're in zone, he's even better at that. I know in the Samford game, the beginning of the game, he got a steal off man defense where he ran through a pass. I don't think anybody thought he could get that. He has a spurt. He has the ability to just change directions really quick. And I think as he's gotten more and more comfortable in our offensive schemes and our defensive thoughts of how we're trying to play, he's become a tremendous basketball. We knew he was a great basketball player, but last year he was coming off the bench. He was trying to figure out when and where to go. And when you're a scorer like he has been over multiple years at different places, I think he was trying to fit in. He didn't want to steal the show. And then when you're, like I was subbing him in and out a lot, he wasn't averaging very many minutes. It's hard to get a rhythm, and he really has gotten into a great rhythm, and we continue to find ways to get him shots, and his teammates are doing a great job of finding him.
All right, Coach, let's break down the games. Thursday night at home, 73-58 over VMI. It was 36-34 at the half. Boy, how comforting was it to get Jabri Bryant back into the lineup?
Yeah, he was able to make some plays, and it was just fun to see him back out there. We're not sure how long or how much he'll be able to do going forward, but even for a few minutes, I think it gave a great boost to our team, morale and attitude. Had known what he's been through and how hard he's worked to get back there, and then him to finish off and make some plays for us to win the game. 2
areas have really stood out all year, Coach, consistently. That's rebounding and also bench scoring. In that game, your bench outscored the VMI bench 14-0.
Yeah, I think that we are deep, and depending on the game, the style of the play of the game, and who we're playing against, we have multiple guys that can step up and help us, and that happened again in that game against VMI. We just got to keep building the bench, because when you play 3 games in 3 days to go, the more depth you have, the better chance you have to win on that last night.
Speaking of depth, then we move into Saturday afternoon against UNCG. More than 4,000 people in the house, and one of your freshmen, Ethan Stair, steps up 5 of 7 from the floor and was going after every loose basketball around.
He plays so hard, and he plays with great determination. He is still trying to learn a few things as we go, but he's had a great freshman year already. And that night, he hit a couple big threes. He's rebounding the ball. He's more athletic than people give him credit for. And I still think he could get some special moments getting to the rim before the season's over. That would be fun to watch. But he's worked really hard at his game, and he continues to develop every night out.
We talked about Justin had 23 points, almost had a double-double, had 8 rebounds to go with it. But Des Ringer, 16 points in that game.
Yeah, our guys found him. We were penetrating the lane, we were getting into the lane and making extra plays, and our guards were really finding them when they got paint touches. Their big guys were helping up, so we were able to get some easy layups for Des, and it was really fun to watch him enjoy those moments, and he's getting better and better at using the rim for protection and finishing plays.
And then no rest on Sunday. We load the bus, head to Birmingham. You know what's coming. You go against Scott Padgett, you know you go against Samford, you know the pressure's coming, you know the trapping is coming.
Right, and we practiced a little bit on Sunday. We didn't do what we normally do, and that would be practice and then get on the bus and drive where we're going to go, and then just do shots at the gym we're going to play in the next night. But on Sunday, I decided since we played 2 games in 3 days, we should probably only warm up one time, not try to heat up their bodies twice in a day. And I don't know if that helped us, but it sure didn't hurt us, I'm sure. And I thought the practices was great at Sanford. We went hard. We got some shots up. We were able to go against pressure a little bit. And then the next day, sure enough, we handled the ball. We only had 12 turnovers against the press, and a couple of those, one, we held the ball at the end when we could have shot it, so that was really not a turnover, so to speak. And I think there was only 1 or 2 live ball turnovers that gave them opportunities to get out in fast break. In fact, we scored more off turnovers than they did.
Coach Stephon Jelks, his 9th double-double, 20 points, 12 rebounds. You know, we almost take those for granted, but that's not, I mean, that's tough to do. He leads the league in double-doubles. There's no one else even close. How difficult is that to night in and night out be right there in double digits in scoring and rebounding?
Well, I wouldn't know how difficult it is because I never did it. I might have got close to 10 assists once, but I never got close to 10 rebounds. I don't even know what a rebound looked like, but I just know how he pursues the ball, and he's always around the basketball. He took a big-time charge in the second half at the end of the game. You know, he's funny because he's basically the heart and soul of the team. We got multiple guys who really help and have a voice in the team. But his energy, when he has energy, it seems like our whole team has energy. Coach Merrill talked about it in the scouting report, and it was really exactly right on what he shared with him that night or that afternoon. And even though we had a little bit of fun with it, but it was all truth. And Steph was on his game on Monday night, and he brought it to the floor.
It's amazing if Jelks makes a play, or even if he has not made a play, if your team goes to the other end of the floor and Stephon bends over and slaps the floor, it's instant energy all over the arena.
Yeah, it is, and he's done that, and it's not something we've coached or even talked about. It's just innate in who he is. It's just his demeanor. But we knew when we were recruiting him that he had that spark. He had something a little bit different about him. We knew he could rebound, knew he would shoot threes. We didn't know if he'd make them like he's making them right now, but he's been tremendous for our program, and he has developed. I mean, his footwork and his fundamentals when he first came weren't to the level that they needed to be, and he's worked really hard with his assistant coaches on getting better at that, and you can tell it every night out. And he was in the middle of the press a lot last night and got those pull-up shots on Monday night against Sanford. It was amazing how he was able to hit those. Those are not easy shots when people are running by on the side and you're able to still concentrate and make those shots.
3 huge wins for the Bears to up their season record to 17-6, 7-3, now tied for second place in the SoCon. We'll be back with Bob Hoffman to talk more inside Mercer Basketball in just a moment.
Football, fun and games, bring food, it's a Wild Wing game.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
At the Wild Wing, the Wild Wing, the Wild Wing.
We're back at Wild Wing Cafe. We're talking Mercer basketball with head coach Bob Hoffman. Coach, when you recruit student athletes to Mercer, obviously they're good to become great basketball players. They're great students in the classroom, performing academically, but also the character of guys you bring in are the type of guys that you want to not only succeed on the Mercer campus, but to go into the community as well. Share with us some of the things that your guys do out in the community.
Well, we've been involved in a lot of different projects over the years, just a few of them to speak of. When we first got here, we started a program where we'd go read to the elementary schools, and we've continued that now for 8 years. And it's a big time figure. I don't have it off the top of my head, but Jonathan Howard basically goes through, calls schools. At first, it was hard to get into the schools because they weren't exactly sure what we were trying to do, and they had logistics of making sure it was all right to have visitors on campus. And so it took a little while. We were able to get into some schools the first year, but now when we call, they know right away, or they're calling us and wondering why we're not coming, and they're coming to games, bringing their elementary students to games, and our guys not only will go read, but sometimes just talk about getting grades or life, and I think it's an amazing opportunity for them to go back and do that when they know what they went through.
Yeah.
And some of them had tough circumstances that they had to work through, that, you know, grades didn't always come easy to every one of our players, and they're doing a good job with that. Then we do some things with Ingleside Baptist Church, and it's in the Macon community where we do community service projects, maybe helping rebuild a home, or go clean out a cemetery, which we've done, or mowing grass, or whatever might be. It's called Make an Impact. We've done that multiple times. We've also had where we've worked with Europe students, which is a program trying to get more students to go all the way through college. It's specific to a group of individuals that may not have the best chance to get there, and may be the first one in their families would ever do that. We've had camps on campus with Europe students, but those are just a few of those. But we do those ongoing. It's something we do a lot of. I think it's important to give back to your community, and once our guys go out and see that, they understand there's more to what we're trying to do, and they see how people embrace them because they're a Mercer basketball athlete, but they have a voice and they have something they can share. You know, another thing that we do every Christmas, we've done for 8 years, we go to Children's Hospital. That's a tough time of the year, and we give presents, and because those folks are hurting. But those are just 4, and there's countless ones that we do.
Coach, as you bring these student athletes in, your role is to make them a better basketball player, to allow them to succeed in the classroom, but really it's a life-changing experience. It's got to be rewarding to you as you watch these young men come in as a freshman and develop in all of these areas, especially as they develop into an adult and helping others.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, most of the guys come in as boys. They think they're men, and they leave as men as they graduate and get degrees and go on and do fun things. Monty Brown was in the gym the other day, came through, stopped in at practice, and he was clapping when the guys were running because he was glad he wasn't running. But, you know, you get to hear from, I've heard from Bud Thomas. Daniel Corsi had a good game the other night.
Yeah.
D-League talked to him. And when you think about all the multiple guys we've had, even the short span we've been at Mercer, and seeing what they're doing and how successful they are, it's a great feeling to know that they're doing tremendous things wherever they are, and most of them are involved in a lot of things beyond their own job as they can see the benefit from it.
And Coach, moving forward, I've heard you before say if there is a group, organization in the Macon, Middle Georgia area, and it might be a possible match for your guys, to contact you or your staff to see if it's a possibility for them.
Yeah, if there's any community service project that you have going on that we might be able to partner with you, we'd love to be involved in that. I know it takes a lot of energy, a lot of manpower. Sometimes we'll just work like Relay for Life and man those stations and give water out. But whatever you might have, we'd love to partner and make a difference in the community, because there's so many people that have helped us, and you can see it from the people coming out and being a part of what we're doing in our games. All those things matter, and it is the most important thing. Winning games is fun, and you want to do the best job you can, but trying to make a difference in people's lives, that is the ultimate thing that you can do.
Very good, Coach. All right, we're going to take a break and come back and talk to Stephon Jelks when we go to campus in just a moment. Be back with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
As a business owner, you need to choose the financial direction that's best for you to find a clear path to growth and success. At BB&T, we support businesses of all sizes with personal service and advice, sharing the sound financial knowledge we've gained over more than 140 years so you can move ahead with confidence. Talk to us today about your business goals. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction.
Over 3,000 new cars, over 1,500 used cars. Come experience the difference.
Well, we're back at Hawkins Arena talking now with Stephon Jelks, sophomore forward out of Marietta, Georgia. Steph, appreciate you joining us today. If you would, for our Mercer family, kind of share with us the immediate family members that mean so much to you.
First of all, my mom means, like, she's like my #1 supporter. She's at all the home games, and you know, she just always sacrifices like her, like taking a day off of work or something, just comes to see me play. So, I mean, her most of all is #1 supporter, and my grandparents are big supporters, and all my family down in South Georgia, but also Georgia.
Yeah.
I also got to give it up to my AAU coaches, Coach Walter Jordan. He's a big influence in my basketball life. He just, you know, keeps talking to me and just keeps pushing me and motivating me and stuff like that.
Steph, we see you bring so much energy. I don't know, of all the guys I've watched at Mercer, you would have to rank in the top 2 or 3 with the energy you bring night in and night out. Tell us about what your personality, how you would describe your own personality.
I mean, you described it pretty well. I mean, I'm just like I'm very energetic guy and stuff like that. So, I mean, I feel like my energy brings like life to the team, you know, and like once I get like everyone going, it gets me going.
Yeah.
And like even coach says that like if I keep the energy going like on the team and stuff, then, you know, just brings life to the program and stuff. So I just really do that to help everybody else out.
When you're preparing for a game, the day of, the afternoon, it's getting closer and closer. What's going on in the mind of Stephon Jelks in mentally preparing for that evening?
Well, like 24 hours before a game, like I just completely like just cut everything off. Like the only person I really will either talk to are either my teammates or my mom. Like I just cut like all social media stuff out and, you know, just get prepared for the game mentally, like looking at the scouting report or something like that, and, you know, like I really get focused into the game. Like I don't like any distractions. Then I like listen to music and stuff like that, and just watch film of like previous games, what I could do better and stuff like that. So like game time, I'm like really like down, like ready to play.
Steph, you're such a great rebounder, one of the best in the Southern Conference. But this year, me sitting courtside, as I watch you, it's like you're jumping a foot higher than you were last year. What the heck did you work on from the last year to this year that you get off your feet so well?
I mean, really just, you know, just running a lot and just lifting leg stuff. And I mean, people say I jump higher and stuff. I really don't see any jumping that high in me. I just have like an edge for the ball. Like if I see the ball in the air, I'm like, my main thing is just go get it. Like no matter who's there. And, I mean, I might pick up a foul or two here or there getting the ball, but I mean, I just feel like it's just my passion for the ball. Like I want the ball in my hands and stuff like that. So I think that comes into play some too.
Tell us about the transition when you first got to Mercer and the type person, the type basketball player you were that very first day, as opposed to the person you are today.
When I first got here, I felt like I was like going to be like the macho man like I was in high school, like coming in, you know, like everything's going to be the same in high school and stuff like that. And like the first day of practice, I'm like, this is totally different. Like, I don't think my like basketball game mentally for college was up there. I felt like I had a lot to learn, and I did have a lot to learn. And I gotta give credit to the players last year and the coaches for like just, you know, staying with me and just keeping positive thoughts in my mind, because last year I was like in the beginning of the season, I was like, man, I'm not getting to play as much as like I did in high school and stuff like that. And am I really that good? Like, you know, because I didn't really get to play that much. And then, you know, season kept going on, I started playing more, and now I see why, because Coach, I mean, he just wanted me to develop my game more. He saw that I had a lot more stuff to work on to be able to play at the collegiate level than in high school, where it's just like I could do whatever I wanted to do. And I got to give credit for Coach Hoffman and the assistants for doing that.
That leads me to my next question. I've saved this question just for you. Coach can be very demanding. He's a genius with the knowledge of basketball, but you and he seem to have a special relationship. Occasionally you're in practice, I think you can walk up and say something to Coach that maybe nobody else can. Tell us about the relationship with Coach Hoffman.
I mean, Coach Hoffman, I mean, as soon as the first day I got here, me and him, I mean, we jumped off, like we clicked real instantly. Like, he's a cool guy, cool man to talk to, and like, I mean, I joke around with Coach because sometimes he could be like nagging and like he could be down, or like might slap him a little bit, like on the back or something like that. Be like, come on, Coach, you gotta pep your step. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the connection with me and Coach Hoffman is pretty strong. Like, because I feel like I could talk to him, he could talk to me about things and stuff like that. Like even outside of basketball, like just see how he's doing and stuff like that. We have like that kind of connection thing going on. So I mean, Coach, like it translates to the court because like we just already have that connection, and it's just much easier to talk.
What's been the highlight of your Mercer career thus far?
Well, recently I just got SoCon Player of the Month, which is like a really huge accomplishment, which I really couldn't do without my teammates because they push and strive me a lot.
Yeah.
Like every day they're like, Steph, you could do this, you could do that, and they just keep pushing me to go harder and harder. So I really got to give it up to my teammates for that. So I feel like that's one of my biggest accomplishments here so far.
Final question, Steph. Once your playing days are done, what do you hope to do with your life professionally?
Professionally, I would like to be like honestly, if I want to be like a broadcaster, really.
You want to take my job?
Something like that. But I like to talk to people a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like being like into like people's like see how they're doing and stuff like that. So kind of like that. But like I don't know. I want to do something with my energy. I just don't want to like sit behind a desk or something like that.
Got it. No, you've got too much energy for that. All right, speaking of energy, we've got to go back up to Bob Hoffman in just a moment. This has been Stephon Jelks. Steph, we're on a roll. Several more important games to go. Best of luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Time to head back to the postseason again,
Yes,
right?
sir. Postseason, here we go.
All right, that's Stephon Jelks. We'll be back with more Inside Mercer Basketball up at Wild Wing in just a moment.
Droid DNA augmentation initiated. Neural speeds increasing to 4G LTE. Brain upgrading to a quad-core processor. Precognitive intelligence with Google Now complete.
Introducing Droid DNA by HTC. It's not an upgrade to your phone, it's an upgrade to yourself.
Back at Wild Wing Cafe, we've enjoyed the interview with Stephon Jelks. Coach talked about earlier what a great energizer he is for this basketball team. Coach, let's take a look at those 3 games last week, some accolades. Let's start first with our Sonic Player of the Week.
Well, Justin Lewis had an amazing run, and he continues to. I think he's had 4 20-point games in a row now, and he was finding shots. Our guys were finding him. He was making play after play, and really, we talked about it some, but the comeback at Western Carolina where we didn't finish, how he put the team on his back and made big-time plays. But even in the game against Samford, just to get the separation, he's made shots, and we've gone to him a little more in some of those situations, and he's definitely delivering.
And especially delivering, the Marco's delivery of the week. Yeah,
speaking of delivery. Yeah, Philip Leonard had 10 assists against Samford. He had 1 turnover, and I mean, it was really amazing how when you get that kind of pressure, and the 1 turnover is where they called a double dribble that I'm not sure if it was, got knocked out of his hands.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had 10 assists with 1 turnover, and then Jordan Strawberry had 4 assists with no turnovers against being pressed the whole game, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So our point guards were 14-1.
Wow.
I mean, that's almost unheard of, even if you're not being pressed, let alone just playing pickup with nobody in the gym.
Absolutely. All right, the Macon Occupational Medicine look at the SoCon. Chattanooga sitting at 8-1, but your team now, Coach, with the 3 wins, has moved back into a tie with Furman at 7-3, just behind ETSU and Wofford now at 6-3.
Yeah, there's just there's so many games still left to play, and we have really good teams. I think there's still. I know Chattanooga's got off to a great start. They had an amazing win against Citadel, 125 points in regulation.
77 in the second half. That's
got to be a record, I would think. I can't imagine in conference play there being 77 points in just without an overtime.
Yeah.
But they're playing at a high level. They got great players. Furman has really got on a roll here recently. Wofford's playing great. But I still believe Samford had a couple wins. Citadel doesn't have very many. Greensboro's playing good. All those teams that don't have very many wins, all those teams can win, have been in position to win, and haven't closed games. So coming down the stretch, there's still an opportunity for an upset, as it would look like on paper. But in my mind, it wouldn't be an upset because I think the margin between the top to the bottom of our league standings is very minimal.
Well, we do not play on Thursday this week. Instead, it's Saturday, the second game of a doubleheader with Susie Gardner's team, who's currently in first place in the SoCon.
Right.
4:30, the Citadel, the 3-ball coming to town, Coach.
Yeah, they shot 43 threes against us last time we played them at their place. Fortunately, they didn't hit but 14 of them. Still, that's 42 points. I mean, it's incredible. And I don't know what the stat is of how many they took against Chattanooga when Chattanooga scored 125, but their last game out. But that would be interesting to see. I know we're going to have our work cut out for us. Anytime you're a three-point shooting team and you get hot, you can put a lot of pressure on another team, and then they're going to press the whole game. So once again, we're going to have to take care of the ball. They're going to come right at us. I really believe we play really good in that situation. We're good going downhill, and when people give us those open areas to push the ball and make plays in the lane, we continue to get things done there that really have helped our team. So it's going to be a fun game. We should have a great crowd. We're hoping to have another sellout, and but Duger's done a tremendous job. First year in that program. They've had a lot of Division I wins, and they're off to a really good start.
And then Monday night, league-leading Chattanooga comes in, Coach. A rematch with the Mocs in our house at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, Matt McCall, I mean, he's done a great job too. I mean, when you take over a program that had that kind of talent and then keep them together and then win the games that they've had at Illinois, at Georgia, and then most probably impressively to me was the win at Dayton, the top 25 team. I've been to Dayton. I've coached at Dayton against them. Their crowd is amazing, maybe the best in college basketball, or one of the best for sure, and they were able to win there. So they've done it every night out. There's been a close couple games. Stanford almost got them. Right before we played Stanford, it was a one-possession game. Stanford missed a couple of layups. So they're still vulnerable. They're good, very, very good, very talented. But I think it should be a tremendous game, and I know our guys are going to be excited about playing that game on Monday night.
And, Coach, we can't say enough. We say this every show, but it gets better and better. 4,000 is almost the norm now for Mercer basketball.
Yeah, it is fantastic. It's a blessing to see, and a lot of people work hard for that to happen. We're grateful for that, and we hope if you haven't been out, you'll come out and check out the Bears. They're doing a tremendous job. It's going to be a big night for us on Saturday and Monday night in Hawkins Arena.
All right, thanks, Coach. That's going to do it for this week. We'll be back again, same place next week. We come back with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
Underneath, jump, save, able to get it